and gentlemen, welcome to episode 32 of the Division Z podcast. My name is Jason.
And I am K Cosmic.
Welcome to a brand new episode of the podcast with special guest Jack Lobster. Go ahead and say hi and introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jack Lobster, as you might already know. I used to be known as Zimad Lobster, but then I changed over. Looking to do some different things for my future on YouTube. So,
Awesome.
yeah, I'm absolutely, thrilled to be here and can't wait to talk some saucy zombies.
Oh yeah, you know it's all about
We're happy
that
to have
saucy
you here.
zombies.
Great to
Hell
have
yeah,
you here.
man.
Because obviously we were on your podcast as well. We had a
That's
great
true.
time with your podcast. So we hope you have a great time at ours.
Very true, man. Hey,
Oh, no, I've
he's
been
got
looking
the,
forward to this.
he's
100%.
got the Zom Squad podcast, man. That was a fun show. That was a really fun one.
It was weird to think that was the last episode we did before we came back this year. So
Oh yeah, that's right.
pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, because that was when the whole like my window conspiracy thing happened. You know, when like
Oh,
I seen their
goodness.
hand and stuff. Oh god,
Wait,
that was
it's just
weird.
the
That was very weird for me. 'Cause
giant
I-
monster guy, his hand coming in saying hi.
it was him, yeah.
It was,
Just
you
your
know,
thing,
just
Jason.
him.
Okay.
Oh man, but guys, I think this week, especially for zombies, has been something truly very special because we got so much information. We've got just so many things to uncover, or to unpack rather. We got Firebase Z, Tombstone is coming to the game, even more zombie secrets that Treyarch hasn't told us about yet. And I know this isn't zombies, but we got Express coming to multiplayer, and we got some other cool stuff. So first things first, what do you guys think about all of the teaser images we got this week for Firebase Z?
Well, I mean, I guess I'll kick things off with saying,
Go for
as
it.
far as like the black and white images go,
Mm-hmm.
I really don't care. I really
Oh
don't
my!
care about that one. I just don't.
Yikes. That's what it started
Here's the
off.
thing, right? Here's the thing, right? I love the actual artwork they showed for the map when they revealed the map name and stuff. I thought that was sick. That got me hyped. As far as the black and white stuff went, it was cool seeing it. But like I didn't really do much into that. When I seen the I wasn't too excited. I was like, okay, some stuff's coming, that's cool. But when I seen the actual image with that Nova Crawler Margwa
Yeah,
thing,
that thing looks scary.
that monstrosity of a monster, right? That puts like World War II zombies to shame. That thing, right?
Yeah.
It just looks like menacing. Like, I think it's about to rip your head off.
Oh,
That's
dude.
when I got excited.
Absolutely.
And especially when like we got the blog as well, like that got me really excited. But as far I know, like the pictures had more like story focused stuff. Like you could give hints to where the story is kind of going.
Yes.
I know there were Richtofen teasers maybe, but other than that, like no, I think the original artwork we got for it, obviously the colored one, right? The
Right.
one with the color.
That
I
one's
thought that
good.
was cool. I thought that was really cool, and that's what's got me excited. And I'm really passionate about like Cold War zombies again, which I have always been.
Right, yeah. I get what you're saying though. You're getting a little bit bored, or
Yeah, I feel like the zombie community is like a fire, right? And whenever Treyarch says something, that's like coal on the fire, and that's what keeps
True.
it going. That's what makes it get really, really like. So I am pretty excited. So Jack, what do you think about the zombie images and all that?
Well, I have to admit, I think they've done a really splendid job with marketing this map with what we've had so far.
Agreed.
Particularly the the black and I do like the black and white images. I think they do add a certain mystery to kind of what we can expect to see with this map, and I do like that.
Mm-hmm.
The actual overview of the map that we got, it looks pretty decent. Like, I'm liking the layout. It looks very different to kind of a lot of stuff that we're so used to in the past, and so I'm very thankful to Treyarch for that. And in terms of like the actual blog post, we got so much information.
Oh yeah,
that blog post is absolutely awesome. I mean, they need to just keep doing that. They just need to keep doing that. I mean, I know a lot of
Just
people
be upfront,
wanted a trailer. I know a lot of people wanted a trailer on Friday, but I knew they just weren't gonna do that, because I mean,
yeah,
it's teaser images
time
right
crunch
now.
and things like that. I will say one thing. Another reason I'm excited for this is because this could potentially be the first all original map for Aether storyline since Gorod Krovi. Think about that for a second. and Ancient Evil, like Ancient Evil as far as all zombie games go.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, right? Die Maschine is one. I think personally, I think we can lob that into the category of completely original. However,
I know.
Nacht just so happens to be there. It's not a map based around Nacht. That's the thing.
Absolutely.
With Target Tone and Alpha Omega, yeah, they're based off of the original parent maps. But I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
What I am saying is obviously Die Machine is like 5% Nacht. The rest is like Die Machine, which I respect. I see Die Machine as a new map as well, but
yes,
Nacht is still in there. And even though no one really goes into it except for like the camping, I think this map will be the first map where we don't have any
just no other assets from other maps.
No other maps. Like, we're not going to see Shinonuma in this. We're not going to see like
what's funny about that is everyone is saying this. Everyone Shinonuma remake in Vietnam. Like I don't know. I don't think so. By the way, I do see your guys' messages in the chat. We got Kaisha, we got Revived Gamer. Those teaser images, oh boy, that's one way to say what happened. Okay, yes, but those teaser images are very exciting. I agree, Revived Gamer. See, the
one thing
is,
I would say about the whole Shinonuma remake conspiracy that's been going around, the only reason people are saying Shinonuma remake is because of the signs.
Yes.
Yes. Like doctor's quarters, like everything like that. That's the only reason they're saying Shinonuma remake. Which, if I'm being honest, like having 4 signs in a map, I think just does not constitute a remake.
It doesn't. It really doesn't. It's like, oh, that brick under Eisendrache was the same brick used in the Giant, so that means it's a remake. Like,
absolutely, 100%. God, but no, I think that possibly could just be like the essence of like a time crunch. We're like, okay, we know what we're doing here. We know what parts of the map we're going to have. We don't have time to make new signs, but we can just take Shinonuma's one, put them in, brand new, Maybe, I think it'll feel like, think of Shinonuma is, right? Does anyone here actually like Shinonuma? Because I'm not a fan.
I actually kind of like it, to be honest.
Okay, well,
I don't like the water. The water sucks. But other than that, I like Shinonuma. It's pretty chill. If I wanted to just chill on Black Ops 3 Zombies and not really care, like if I didn't want to like try hard, or I didn't want to, if I just wanted some really chill experience with just me or just my friends, I'll jump on Shinonuma. I think it's a chill map.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like with Shinonuma, like my favorite World of War map is Verrückt. I like the aspect of Verrückt, and I think it is a solid map. However, Shinonuma is one of those maps that I think it does get kind of underrated a bit, because obviously it's in the same game as Doris, and everyone loves Doris. So with Shinonuma, I'm like you, Jason. Like with BO3, I like going on there and just having a casual game. And I just think the way they remastered the atmosphere of Shino, it's a nice map. It's not a perfect map, but it's a nice map.
Exactly. And
here's what I'll say.
Yeah.
Here's what I'll say. I very much enjoy COD Mobile's Shinonuma.
Ha!
That is what I was saying.
That one does look pretty fun. I haven't played that one.
Well, it's gone now. You probably never get to play it.
True.
But my one thing is with Shinonuma, I give it a hard time, but like I guess you gotta remember as well is like it's from a game from like 11 years ago.
Yeah, you gotta keep that in mind.
I gotta remember that as well. And again, you're right with comparing it to like it's on the same game as Doris, and Doris is just like such like a staple, like when you say Doris, everyone knows what you're talking about.
Absolutely,
everyone. I would imagine most people do. Maybe not the newer people so much, but like anyone that's at least played from like Black Ops like 3 kind of that sort of time period.
Yeah,
like, they know what Doris is, But
yeah. I think the thing with the Shinonuma remake too, where people are really going crazy about that, is because people noticed also on that one campaign mission that some of the assets from Shinonuma are there, or like some of the assets look really similar on that mission where you're in the helicopter and you're shooting down on the base.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, well, maybe they'll just reuse those assets for a Vietnam map. Because I think at some point we knew that we were going to Vietnam for a Zombies map. Whether we admitted it or not, I think the whole community realized that we're going to go to Vietnam for a Zombies map in this DLC cycle. But we have Revived Gamer in the chat here saying Shinonuma wasn't even in Vietnam, was it? No, that was in Japan. That was in Japan.
I mean, that's true as well. So, but then again, Nacht was originally in Germany.
Exactly. It's exactly what I was gonna say.
It's in Poland. It's in Poland now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moscow, Poland. We also got Shadow Leader in the chat. Welcome to the stream. Hell yeah, spam those pog emotes.
I just want to revert back to what you were saying about Die Maschine not being an original map, and like I could be overstepping my toes here, right? But this is kind of like since the first day of playing Die Maschine, this is how I've always considered it. The map is split in two. You have the top half, which is practically Nacht remake. You have the bottom half, which is original. And that's kind of how I've always seen Die Maschine. And so, like, I never consider it a remake and I never consider it a new map. It's kind of like smack bang in the middle.
I can understand that. Yeah. I've always kind of viewed Die Maschine as one of those maps where, like I said earlier, it's a completely new map, but Nocturne and Toten just so happens to be there.
Yeah.
Kind of like Transit. Transit's a completely new map, but Nocturne and Toten just so happen to be there.
I think a good way to like that's a good way to put it. I think a good way to kind of put it is let's use Blood of the Dead as like an example, right?
Okay.
Blood of the Dead was like 90% remake and 10% new. Die Maschine is the complete polar opposite, where it's 10% old and then 90% new. Where like obviously in Nacht, the only parts you got to actually play in were obviously the insides of it in World at War, so you never got to actually go outside and expand. I know that, and same with Revelations as well. I guess like Revelations isn't a Nacht remake, like it's you know I guess that's an everything remake.
Yeah.
But no, with Die Maschine, I feel like it's not a remake, but again, it has that map there that you could put it with.
I think
Firebase will be the first map where we won't have any sort of like resemblance. I don't just mean by like assets. If assets from other games are in, that's fine by me. But I think this will be the first map we don't have like a layout of a similar map, like Numa in it.
Yeah,
I see that. I definitely see that. I think.
Yeah.
And you were telling me something before we started the show. We were talking about it just a little bit beforehand, Cosmic. You were telling me, and I totally agree with the color palette and the atmosphere, the kind of vibe that it gives off. And the logo for Firebase Z, by the way, looks awesome. If you guys haven't seen it already, go ahead and check Treyarch's Twitter. Kind of reminds you of Garad Krovi a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that looks awesome. I mean, it makes sense though, because it's a secret Soviet base in the jungles of Vietnam. Omega Group doing science experiments there. Yeah. So of course the Russians are going to be heavily involved. The one thing that I want to know though, if you read the blog post, Samantha Maxis has been captured.
Yeah.
Now hear me out. This might sound a little out there, and this might sound a little bit crazy, but what if during the Easter egg, on one of the Easter egg steps, you have to do something, you open a secret door, that's where Samantha Max is being held, right? It's like this extra chamber, and there are armed guards there, and there's actual NPCs, like the Viet Cong or actual Soviet soldiers there guarding her, and you get into a gunfight with Soviet soldiers as part of the Easter egg. Because we know humans are actually a thing in this world, right? The whole world isn't plagued by zombies.
Yeah, and it's
so
like the
that would be dope
group,
as hell.
They're what shoot you down.
Exactly. Like, they got their AKs and they're like, oh, the Requiem broke into the base. Ba 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 ba. That'd be so dope.
That would be cool. Imagine you spawn in, right? Or imagine like you're before you even start off, right? It's like you're in the actual like jungle itself and you're making your way towards the facility. And it's like a campaign mission, like for the first like 2 seconds, and like you're going through. And then you're in the zombie map, and then it's like round 1, it pops up, and then you start off with your gun or whatever,
That'd be cool. Something different.
Yeah.
Oh, here's one thought. Do you think we'll get an outro cutscene?
Yes.
I don't know. I think we might get an outro cutscene.
We have to.
But the thing is, we have to get one for Die Maschine as well.
Well, because here's the thing. Die Maschine has a little bit more of an excuse, because, oh no, we blew up the thing, move on. But with this, there's story behind it. Samantha Maxis, one of the main characters, has been kidnapped by Omega Group. So like, Jason, there's got to be some sort of story cutscene to that. You know what I'm saying?
Here's my thing. Here's what I think. Our intro cutscene we'll get from this before the map comes out. I think they won't show. They'll show it when we update our game to like play the map. That'll be the thing that pops up for everyone, kind of like how the season stuff happens.
Yes.
And when it comes to actually getting an actual cutscene, I just don't know. I
You don't
just
think
really
so?
don't know, Jason, because the whole exo system. I think exo will be coming back definitely.
Oh, of course.
Like it has to, right? And if that system's coming back, who's to say that they're just going to do that again? And that'll be like, what if our whole purpose in all these maps, except obviously this won't be different because we have Samantha with us. What if our whole mission is blowing up all these bases? Because that's what we could be doing here as well.
I don't know. What do you think, Jack?
But
What do
this
you think
time,
about that?
what we take is like Samantha out.
I mean, you do bring up an interesting point. Like, there's a couple of ways that they can definitely go about this. Like the concept of potentially blowing up all of these bases just to like remove the threat is probably the most likely one. However, that's not to say that that for the first few maps that'll be the case, and then for the final two or something like that, they then change it up, and we then get like more detailed cutscenes to give us a bit more of a backstory.
Yeah.
But I actually have a theory about Omega Group.
Oh.
And now this is going to sound completely ridiculous to a lot of people, and if you're one of those people, then like I completely understand why this would sound ridiculous.
The zombie storyline is ridiculous in itself, so
Yeah.
I think nothing. I think nothing is too far fetched.
But I have a slight hunch that the leader of Omega Group is Eddie.
Oh.
You think?
I'm gonna put that as my just my thought at the moment.
Okay.
Like I have absolutely zero evidence to back it up, but it's
Okay.
just something I'm gonna lay out there.
That seems like
Okay.
a plot twist that would happen, though, isn't it?
True.
Because obviously we've seen off Samantha, but we haven't seen anything from Eddie yet, like at all.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We got people in my chat here saying that they think it's Perseus from the campaign.
That'd be another good
Why?
twist.
We also got people in the chat here saying I think we could get to play as Omega at the end with different Easter eggs. Different Easter egg endings would be dope. Absolutely. I think that'd be so cool. Yeah, and then at the end you get to choose who you side with, Omega or Requiem, to like save the world or doom the world, you know? Just like the campaign.
Yeah.
You know, you
But
blow up Europe or you save the world, you know? It's the whole thing.
You know, I'd imagine maybe like later down in the storyline there's choices, and maybe Omega Group have been shown to be this evil threat, but maybe they're actually doing something good. Like maybe they're trying to do something good. I don't know how. Like it's kind of like you know, in the Chaos storyline, which many people don't remember. Obviously, it was shown that the what were they called? The people in the masks. I can't remember.
The Order.
The Order.
cursed- Yeah, the Order. Yeah, right. They were shown that they were bad at first, and they probably were, but it kind of looks like they were the better of two evils towards the end because Medusa, or
Because of
obviously at the end.
Medusa. I mean, fair enough.
Yeah. So what if something like that? I don't know, because like, don't get me wrong, I'm paying attention to the story in this game, but I don't care as much just because I'm more playing for gameplay now.
I can get that. I mean, because there's
Like
so
when
many.
I see Samantha, that's hype. Don't get me wrong. Like when I see characters that I remember, that's really cool.
Yeah.
But like, as far as like the nitty gritty details, like
It's because there's so many there's so many gameplay aspects to Cold War that you can really sink your teeth into. You know, you don't have to be invested in the story to enjoy the game, you know?
yeah, exactly.
And I think that's where Black Ops 4, for a lot of people a lot of people were turned off to Black Ops 4 in that way, because a lot of people were being, you know, oh, care about the new story, you know, oh, this makes sense here, and oh, read the comic book, and that they forgot to focus on the core gameplay that a lot of people find not as favorable. I mean, personally, you know me, I don't think Black Ops 4 is as bad as people say it is. I like the perk system, I like that, but you know, I think that's what ended up turning a lot of people off at the end of the day. But I get what you're saying, though, Cosmic. I definitely get what you're saying.
We have Ethan in chat saying, I don't know how alternative endings would work out for future zombies, but it would be fun. I mean, I think it'd be hard, but I think it'd be possible. Kind of like multiple Easter eggs. Like we've had it in Black Ops 2.
Exactly.
where
Exactly. They
we
can do the super Easter egg in Black Ops 2. We can do it here.
buried, you pick the side, and you get your alternate ending. They could do that again, maybe. But
Yeah,
depending on time crunches.
Or what if
I don't know.
halfway through the egg, you have to make a choice. One choice gives you one ending, another choice gives you another ending.
Yeah, absolutely.
That makes sense because
Save
what
Maxis
the
or
Easter
kill
eggs are
Maxis.
almost identical. The Easter eggs are almost identical except for one step maybe towards the end. Like you have a button, right? Let's say you have a button, right, or something. Like you're in like a room to blow up a country again, like to stop the zombie threat. Yeah. And it's like we can't do this because there's so many people that are still living there. But then it'll invade the rest of the world. Maybe you are there and you can make the decision. And whatever path you take, you have two things. So one is, I'm guessing you either betray, you know, what your original mission was there for,
Requiem,
and you decide with Omega, or you go through the mission, and you know. So I could have that. I could dig that because it's as simple as pressing a button or something, and then a sequence happening. So everything else is kind of out of your hands. So I don't know. I think that'd be cool. I think that they should definitely hire me at Treyarch to do stuff like
that. Treyarch just needs to hire the whole zombies community at this point, man. I mean, the zombies community is so chock full of ideas that, like, oh man, it just the potential is there. The potential is there.
Yeah.
We got Fazzy in the chat here is bringing something up very, very noteworthy, I think. And see what you guys think about this. What if they do character cutscenes like they did with Richtofen and Blood of the Dead? What do we think about that?
That'd be cool. But do we think we'll see it? Because I think
because the operators, you can't really do character specific things. You know, what do you think about that, Jack?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, it's a good idea. I think it's a very good idea. But it's as you were saying, like because our characters are basically just MP guys, it's gonna be kind of hard to pull that off.
Yeah, definitely. It would be hard to pull it off, but the chat is just saying right here, what if they do it just for another character? Like you do it for Samantha Maxis, you do it for Gregorian Weaver, whatever.
Possible, I think.
That's possible.
Yeah, because I think if we look at Blood of the Dead, obviously we had Revelations Richtofen in the outro. You know, the one that went through the cycle on that.
Yes.
We had him in there, and obviously what you could really just do is like take that concept of that cutscene, and you know how like Nikolai and that are kind of in the background. They have some relevance in the context of this cutscene. There won't be any relevance to these characters, but you still see them. So you know your operators. Like you know how when you do an Easter egg on Black Ops 3, if you're on PC, you can mod the characters.
Yes.
All look like Kermit. It would just be like that, where you're wearing a different skin.
Yeah, I could see that. Like that. Yeah, I could definitely see that. Although, I'd love at some point in the new Dark Aether storyline, I still want to see. I don't care if it's just a reference, but I want to see something to do because it's part of the Aether storyline still. Something to do with our OG characters, you know, something to do with like, you know, like a cipher or something to be like, oh yeah, you know, we've kept records on these noble heroes who fought the zombies long before us, and you know, any little thing like that I think would be cool, and I think that would be something through the intel, I would assume, you know, intel, and if you think about it, intel has replaced ciphers, you know, and I think that's a great idea.
I think a lot of things with this game is they didn't want to have so much secret stuff, and they just wanted to like be completely honest with people. Like,
absolutely.
I think that with Black Ops 3, we had a Jason Blundell game where so much stuff was hidden.
Yeah.
And now it's like the polar opposite of this game where like, we pretty much know everything about the game. And that's not necessarily a bad thing because I see some people on Twitter complaining about the game, like, oh, the game's too easy. The Easter egg isn't really an Easter egg, you know, all these little things. There's like, you know, ciphers, but there's intel, you know?
Yeah.
There's other means to make it more accessible for players. Like with Extinction, you had intel.
Right.
This game takes so many things from Extinction. So many things. You got the intel. You got a lot of the class sort of things you get in Extinction. There's just a lot like they've taken from past games that they're putting into this one, make it more player friendly, and I love it. Like it makes more sense at the end of the day as well.
Yeah.
And
I think I know why they decided to do that though. Like purely because of the fact that with this game, and you can tell this is kind of what they were driving towards. This game is for all players.
Yeah.
It's not just hardcore. It's not just casual. It's not just new people. It's for literally everybody.
Absolutely.
And they want everybody to get involved in the story at exactly the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's a fantastic point. I mean, you literally have it. The game tells you how to pack a punch. you know?
Yeah.
So every type of player, new player, old zombies, veterans that, want to do other hard Easter eggs, like the hand Easter egg, that one's cool. The dancing coffin Easter egg, even though that one's easy, no one, and everyone knows how to do that.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where Die Maschine is easier than a lot of other maps we've gotten for exactly what Jack said. This game is now going to be more accessible to every kind of player. The high rounds are still really hard for zombies fans to ascend in the rounds, and that's okay. That just should be hard. You get to round like 100 or something, it shouldn't be easy. But then at the same time, you have a very, I think, comprehensive upgrade system with the arsenal and the different tiers of Pack-a-Punch. And, people can be like, oh, okay, not only is this game giving me a lot more resources to succeed, but it's very easy to comprehend too for every type of player. So,
I think with Cold War as well is like, and we'll eventually move on to Tombstone.
Yes.
I think Cold War is essentially, and Jason, I know we talk about Black Ops 4 a lot on the podcast just because it's such a good reference point. But Cold War is the polar opposite of what Black Ops 4 tried to be. So Black Ops 4 tried to be this game where like it gave you lots of options, but by doing that, it limited your options. Like with the perks, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Like in Black Ops 4, you could take 4 perks in, right? And maps, there's certain ways to earn perks, but let's just say 4 perks for like the standard, right?
Mm-hmm.
By doing that, they've given us less perks because before you could just go pick what perks you wanted on the map, right?
Yeah.
And Cold War's handle this is you can just buy your perks. There's no limit.
I love that.
You can buy whatever you want.
I love
exactly.
that.
Simple, right? The same thing with Black Ops 4 is, you pick your grenades and all that. You could pick that one grenade type, and that was it. With Cold War, it's all there for you to choose. It's all there. Equipment, all that, it's all there. Yeah. You can buy whatever you want. Kill streaks as well. Great addition.
Yeah.
And I think the specialists in this game were done well. Like the whole abilities and that, I think that's the best way they went around with them.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not too overpowered, but they are very useful.
True.
Yeah, it's also a case of that. One major complaint that a lot of people had with BO4 was that you couldn't change anything in game.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cold War offers the exact opposite. You're basically all you're doing in the menu is setting up 2 things. Everything else is in the game. You can change your score streaks. You can change your tacticals. You can change your lethals. You can change literally almost everything in game.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it more accessible. And then you're not limited as well. You haven't got to use that one frag or that one tactical. Like you can just, what's the word I'm looking for? Experiment. You can just experiment with a whole different slew of arsenal, and that's what I really like about it.
I agree. Absolutely agree with that.
One gripe I have with Cold War, and then we'll move on to Tombstone, is with Dark Matter, you'd think with a game with so much like potential to do whatever you want in, you think they make it so you can have Dark Matter on more than one of your weapons per game.
Yeah.
As much as I want Dark Matter and it looks cool, you can go with one. It's the same with weapon attachments. You can go with one weapon of attachments. And the thing is, when that happens, I don't think they'll ever do like an update or anything to fix that. Maybe with camos, but as far as actual weapon attachments and all that, I think they'll leave that alone because the whole point of the new weapon system is that you hit the box and you get a rarity and random attachments on that sort of weapon, right?
Right.
Or not? I think it's set attachments for the rarity, but like, it just kind of it doesn't ruin Dark Matter, but like,
I don't
know.
I think what they need to do with that is they need to separate create a class from an armory. I think they can have 2 selections. Exactly, right? Exactly what Blackout did. Exactly. It's where you just put the camo on the gun, but then you can have your create a class too. I mean, I know Blackout didn't have a create a class, but I don't imagine it could be that hard, right? I mean, you have a create a class over here, and then you have an armory that would just display weapon camos.
Yeah.
I just don't think that'd be
cool.
hard. I don't know. I don't know if it would be. I mean, I'm not a game designer, but I don't think it would be because similar things like that have been added before in the past.
It's been in the past 2 games, so I'm sure they could add it if they really wanted to. It's more like I'm gonna get Dark Matter because it's something to do and it's a lot easier cranked.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like right now, multiplayer. I guess it looks cool because you can choose whatever you want, really. But like, other than that, that's it. That is it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
now we have something very important to talk about, and obviously we talked about on Jack's podcast as well. The famous, the one and only Tombstone that I predicted coming out several months ago, and no one gave me recognition for it, and I'm sad. But what do you think of Tombstone and its abilities? I think, Jason, you're all revised up on what Tombstone does.
Yes.
Yes. So break it down for us, because I know what it is, but
Tombstone is basically who's who now. And essentially, the base ability of Tombstone is you go down and a shadow clone, shadow clone jutsu, or Naruto over here, will spawn in and revive yourself. Just like who's who. Yeah, who's who. And then as you upgrade it, the shadow form lasts a little bit longer. Then the second tier is bleed out time is 60 seconds instead of 30 or something. It's either 60 seconds or I can't speak English. It either gets increased to 60 seconds or it adds 60 seconds to it. I forgot which one it is. And then the third ability.
I think it just turns it.
Oh, it just turns it into 60? Okay.
It says on the actual description, increased down duration to 60 seconds.
To 60 seconds. Okay, gotcha.
It does, yeah.
So, then the third ability does what Tombstone normally does, and then if you bleed out, it leaves a tombstone behind. You can collect your things back. So, it's who's stone. it's Tomb's who. It's one of the who's stone.
So I seen a tweet by Lex, and I think he was quite confused about what it does. Once it's fully upgraded, I think his whole idea is that originally it's Tombstone, and when you upgrade it fully, it turns into. Originally it's Who's Who, and it turns into Tombstone. What I personally think will happen is we'll get all them effects, so the Who's Who ability sort of, and then the longer bleed out time, and then we'll get the Tombstone actual ability. I think we might get all that in one, or what do you think? Because if they make it so that it's...
They released the what it does. So the Tombstone's OG ability is now its tier 3 ability. So like,
but when we get to tier 3.
You get all that. Absolutely. No, absolutely.
Okay, yeah.
So it's cool. If you can't revive yourself in 60 seconds, then Tombstone happens. Yeah. Oh, but really quickly, I just got to say thank you for the tier 1 subscription, Blaze Snipes. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, man. Long time. So I'm going to just hit you up with my second sub. Thank you so much. Just wanted to say that real quick. Thank you so much.
But no, I mean, Jack, what do you think of this amazing perk returning in its full glory?
Thank everything we are going to be able to say our salvage. I
didn't even think about that.
Lord, it's finally coming true.
I didn't even think about that. That's awesome.
That's so true.
Major gripe I had with Cold War was dying and then losing every scrap of salvage.
All your hard work just gone.
Now this is... But if I had to give like an honest opinion, okay, I am very intrigued to see how the base of this perk is going to work. And the fact that they've combined Who's Who into it in a way is a very good idea. Because Spike has always said, yes, Spike, shine you out, boy. Spike has always said, Who's Who, if it was done right, would be an excellent perk. This is the redemption for Who's Who.
Yeah.
Tombstone.
Don't know something as well. I think Tombstone and Who's Who go hand in hand, because my problem with Tombstone is it encouraged you to go down.
Right.
When you went down, it encouraged you to bleed out. With Who's Who, it gives you the chance to revive yourself and gives you a purpose, because you can actually get up from it. And then if all else fails, you keep your stuff. You gotta keep your stuff. Which is cool.
What's really funny? Real quick, what's the new perk? Yeah. Tombstone is the new perk, chat. Yes, that is what's being added to the game. Check Treyarch's Twitter. Check their blog post for all that kind of stuff. We're talking about Tombstone at the moment. What's really funny is back in, I think, like August or July, however many months ago it was, I made a perk comparison video comparing Tombstone and Who's Who, and I got a comment on the video yesterday saying Treyarch must have seen this video and just fuse them together,
They were like, let's do it.
So they literally have done. Like it does sound very cool though, and but so I'm very intrigued to see how the perk is going to actually play in game.
True.
But now this is a big ban. This is a question for you guys. Do you think the actual perk machine itself is going to get a revamp like Deadshot?
Yes.
Are we gonna see a sexualized Tombstone soda machine? Because that's what I'm intrigued to know.
Yes, dude.
I
Let's
would
go.
love that, but I think I know exactly what's gonna happen. I think it's just gonna be in the Wonder Fizz. To be quite honest.
No,
yes.
it's
In
Firebase.
the new map, an actual perk machine is gonna be there for Tombstone.
Is there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah,
It says it
Firebase
in
is gonna have a
the
machine.
booklet.
That's so. I didn't even know that. That's so cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
I
I'll
thought they were
read
gonna.
this.
Oh.
So you'll be able to grab a can from the Tombstone perk machine in Firebase Z, and you'll also find it in the Wonder Fizz machine in D Machina on February 4th.
Yes.
They learned that we like perk machines. Good.
Yes.
I'm still sticking by the claim that I made. Treyarch, if you guys ever release mini perk statues of the new perk machines on Black Ops Cold War, I'm buying Deadshot. You know, if I could get a new Deadshot perk machine, I would love to have that. Just to like put on my desk or something, or like have a zombies memorabilia thing.
It's so cool. It's like that. It's like that meme. You know, like the you versus the guy she tell you something to worry about. It's like
exactly,
I mean,
dude.
Deadshot's glow up in Cold War was exactly like Moon's glow up in Zombies Chronicles. It's a night and day difference.
Yeah, because don't get me wrong, Moon's quite I think it's quite a controversial map. I quite enjoy it, but as far as the actual graphical appearance goes from BO1, I've seen that, Jason. As far as it goes from BO1 to BO3, and like you go in, the music, the actual graphics, when you're looking at the Earth and everything, it is such an improvement. And I think that's exactly what's happening here as well. Like it's just nice. It's aesthetically pleasing.
No, absolutely. The chat is saying, the thing, Deadshot is actually good in this game because of the tiers. Yeah, exactly, chat. Deadshot is great now because of the tiers. And again, I gotta say, another perk comparison video I made recently back in December was Deadshot from Black Ops 4 versus Deadshot from Black Ops Cold War, because they're both their own like variations of the original Deadshot. So in comparing both of those two, I was going, oh my god, like even though Deadshot in Black Ops 4 is still not bad, it's still better than normal Deadshot. Black Ops Cold War Deadshot just blows it out of the water, is just great.
Black Ops Cold War Deadshot is necessary. You need
absolutely.
Like,
that has become a crutch perk. You want to talk about crutch perks, huh? Huh? That's a crutch perk.
Deadshot would become a crutch perk.
Nah, in all seriousness, crutch perks don't exist, and I still stand by that.
Treyarch and Black Ops will be like, we will make perks balanced. Treyarch and Black Ops Cold War.
Treyarch and Black Ops Cold War. They didn't like that very much.
God.
The chat is telling me there's a guy on Facebook that makes mini perk machines. What? Chat, if you guys are in my Discord, link me to that right now because I want to check that out.
Yeah, I'd like to.
There's the guy that makes the ray guns. What is it called? The Ray Gun Project.
Yeah, that guy's cool.
I really wanted to buy one. I was so tempted, but by the time I went to the website, it got taken down. So I'm pretty sure.
What?
I don't. Did
Activision copyright him or something?
I think so. That's such a shame because Activision are making so much money, and for them to be like, nope.
They should enter a partnership with him. To be honest,
because people would buy them, and if they were Activision like approved, like if they're like quality tested and all that. So many people would buy them. Like imagine there's a special edition of like Black Ops Cold War, which like let's imagine an alternate universe where big bad virus wasn't a thing and everything was fine. They could have teamed up, and the special edition could have been the ray gun.
Dude,
I would have bought like 7 copies of the special edition for it,
That would have been dope. And I agree with what Revived Gamer here says in the chat. The whole fix for crutch perks was to make there be no perk limit.
Yeah.
That just completely shuts down any argument of there being crutch perks. I agree.
Yeah. Because the whole thing making them crutch perks was the limit.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think as zombies evolves, it just needs to get more customized. Like by the end of it, you're super god. Like the thing with Cold War is, if you want to get the high rounds, you can just sit in the corner of a ray gun now. So it doesn't really matter what perks you have. So like, you know what I mean? Like give us everything, you know?
Right.
That'd be.
But yeah, I see Jack over there typing furiously. Or what you looking up there? What you looking up there? You looking up that
mini perk machines? Is
the
what
mini
I'm
perk
looking at.
machine guy?
Well, I can't find the guy, but I just typed into Google mini perk machines Call of Duty Zombies, and literally I'm looking at Juggernaut Speed Cola, Double Tap Quick Revive, the Pack a Punch machine,
Ooh.
and
Oh yeah.
Nice. How much are they? How much are they?
you can't. The thing is, you can't buy them.
What?
Hang on.
Are they just?
I swear.
I think they're.
Maybe people just showing them off. Maybe people just showing them
Yeah, like,
off.
oh yeah, we have these. I made this, and you can't have it. How's that make
I
you
made
feel?
this.
I'm just googling.
Hello, I'm seeing you in the chat. Welcome to the stream, my man.
Send your link to the
But,
Discord. Awesome. So the guy in the chat just sent me the link. It's in my Discord apparently.
There you go.
I'll check it out after the stream. But yeah,
I think that kind of wraps it up for Tombstone.
definitely wraps up.
But here's a counterpoint I want to go into our next topic. Obviously, we're going to talk about Cranked because I think have we all played it yet?
Absolutely.
Jack, have you played Cranked yet?
I've played one game.
Okay, one game. Okay. My first thing before we actually get into it is obviously in Cranked, the whole purpose of the game mode is to keep going, and then you explode when you thingy, right?
Right.
What's going to happen when they add in Tombstone? Do you think they'll act as kind of like a revive, or do you think they just want to add it into the game mode? Because that completely, if that's how it works, then that perk is completely useless in the thing if you're still going to die. And here's the thing as well. I guess Tombstone in a way, is Tombstone in a way kind of like a self-revive as well now?
Yeah.
So what happens when you have a self-revive? Does that take place?
I think.
Or does that take place after?
Here's what I think. I think you die, and hang on. How do I explain this? You die, then
okay, you die.
You become the shadow clone of yourself. If you don't pick yourself up in time, then you down. You down. Then that's where you lose the perks, and then you use your self-revive. So Tombstone would take priority, I would assume. Then if you don't pick yourself up within the Tombstone time limit, then that's when you start losing your perks. But if you pick yourself up within the time limit of Tombstone, then you get your perks, you keep all that and whatnot. That's what I'm thinking.
So, but then if you bleed out and that revive has to come in and save you.
If you bleed out entirely, then you drop your Tombstone if you're a tier 3.
Yeah, but okay. Well, here's my thing, right? I maybe you explained it, but I just wasn't getting it. But like, you have a self-revive on yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
And then the Tombstone takes effect. Do you think it's the case that, I mean, you're saying Tombstone takes priority?
Yeah, I think it would.
And solo maybe actually.
Well, yeah. I thought, I think it could work both ways because you can buy a self-revive in co-op too. So it could work both ways. But I mean,
with the Tombstone, if you go down in solo, you don't lose salvage, do you?
No, but you lose perks. You lose perks if you don't have Tombstone,
okay, so
right?
the way it works in solo is you just keep your perks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, okay, well, there you go. That's explained to me.
It's basically aftertaste.
Oh, well, fair enough then. I mean, I was thinking like, oh, how would that work? Yeah. I was like, oh.
I don't know. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts, Mr. Lobster?
I mean, I can see where you're coming from. It would make sense for Tombstone to take the priority. But in terms of like the whole self-revive thing, I don't know. It's interesting how they are gonna work around it. My guess is Tombstone would be the first one to activate, and then once you get to that second down phase, you can then use the self-revive perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I guess as well as that is if the first self-revive takes priority, then you might lose Tombstone. So what's the point of having Tombstone?
Right.
So yeah. All right. Next question then is: do we think it'll be cranked?
Of course, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because if every other perk is in cranked, this would be in cranked.
But there's
I'll
no.
say, isn't
I mean, actually, maybe.
the question you got? The question you got to think about, right, is that is cranked still going to be around when DLC 1 comes out?
I was just about to say, yeah.
I hope it is. I really enjoy it.
Cranked's literal description is an LTM,
right?
Limited time mode.
Right.
So when Firebase Z comes out, are they going to be taking away cranked?
Yeah, I think they will. I think they will now. Because originally I was just thinking, oh, cranked is going to be there until the end of season 1. But now that we're getting Firebase Z, maybe I don't know how long season 1 would have after Firebase Z comes out, but
because
I think they'll take it out
has
when Z comes out.
I think it's like 37 days left or something. Because I looked at my battle pass yesterday or a few days ago. I was on 40 days left until the battle pass runs out. But
okay.
I think they might take it away just because I think they're going to be like, look, we want as many people playing the new map as we can get.
Also
so it's all over the internet and that.
Mm-hmm.
So even for, cranked, even for it's probably such a small number of people playing it, like such a small number, I think they're like, no, we need these people in the new map. We'll put it all over the place. And then later on, we can add crank back in, so people are like, oh, crank's back. Yay, we can come back on the game,
Yeah.
Personally, myself, I enjoy Cranked. I think Cranked's quite a fun game mode. Changes the pace. I think it's more of a... I think Zombies is such a slow start, and then you eventually get there. I think Cranked is like, if there's like an actual zombie apocalypse and all the zombies are hectic.
You feel like that's how it would be.
Like Left 4 Dead. Like in like a Left 4 Dead sort of game.
Mm-hmm.
This is their sort of version of Left 4 Dead, where it's just like chaos. Absolutely.
It is chaos, man. It's kind of crazy.
So, yeah.
One thing that is weird, though, that I don't know if this has happened to you guys before. It happened to some guy in my Discord, and it happened to me on stream yesterday. Sometimes on Cranked, and also in normal zombies apparently, because this guy got it out of a crystal, but you will get a gray rarity weapon. It's like a grayish black. You'll get this gray rarity weapon, and I was confused. Like, what damage tier is this? And someone else on my Discord server was saying it's basically red. It's basically red rarity because when you upgrade up the arsenal, that turns into green. So my assumption would be it's somewhere between red and green. But then at the same time, it's like it could just be red, but it's not red. It's just gray for some reason. I thought that was kind of weird. But it seems like it's yeah.
Wasn't there something put out that apparently that was just a visual glitch?
I think so because there's
that's what I'm thinking too.
Salvage. There's something with salvage rarity, and there's like a weird version of the color, and I think it was actually called something. I think it was called ultra rare salvage or something, as well. So I think there's a lot of things like that just cut from the game. But what I didn't know was, I found out more recently, but Bomber and Blaster, how they drop stuff like weapons and that the more you play along. Like how they do in Onslaught. They can drop the Wonder Weapon.
Yes, they can. They drop ray guns too in the higher rounds on Cranked.
Well, there you go. I mean,
dope.
that yeah.
Because before the podcast started, Steve IL's at it again. Round 115 plus on Cranked. Of all the game modes.
He was like
a guy.
He was like, I got to 115 for 115 day. Like, oh, that's nice of you.
It's dope. That's so dope.
But no, again, me personally, I've just been using it to level up weapons, and I'm gonna get Dark Matter or Dark Ether, I should say.
Nice.
I feel like when I on stream when I say Dark Matter, the whole chat's like, it's Dark Ether, it's Dark Ether. Well, you got me there. But
the chat is saying gray's an old bug, and your starting gun. Well, your starting gun is red. That's why I was a little confused. I was like, what the fuck is this? But it definitely makes more sense that it's a visual glitch than it's just like some random red weapon just dropping, but it just turned out to be gray.
One thing I'll say they need to change, and they probably won't because the game won't be up for too long. I imagine it's the salvage rate. By the time it's like round 20, I can't even get my weapons upgraded from common to like rare. It's like impossible. You get like little to no salvage.
The thing is too, I find myself hitting the box a lot more on cranked, so I can get
Because I want to try and
better
get a better
weapons.
rarity.
Yeah,
I don't want to
exactly.
try and upgrade my weapon. Yeah. What I'll do
Exactly.
is when I'm upgrading a weapon, I'll take that weapon in and I'll hit the box a few times. And if I get that weapon, great, I'll take it. And then, no matter what rarity it is, even if it's green, like I'll take it. And if not, no. But Jack, you said you played the game mode once.
Yes.
What are your initial thoughts on it and all that? What do you think of the game mode?
I mean, it's the one thing I do admire about it is the fast-paced action. Like, I think it does remind me a lot of Rush in BO4.
True.
And I was actually quite a fan of Rush. I liked the fast-paced action that game mode gave. This has very similar aspects of that. The only thing is with it, I can't see myself going out of my way to play this. Like I will play it once, maybe I'll play it a couple more times, and then that will be it. Because I mean, it's a fun game mode, but the thing is that it's literally just that, it's a game mode. And quite frankly, I would much rather I go on to D Machina and just do like a round 50+ game per se.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I'm really having a lot of fun with the game mode. I think it like Cosmic was saying earlier, it should be in the game forever, because why make things LTMs? But at the same time, you know, the whole Tombstone conundrum would kind of make things really weird with that game mode. And LTMs would just get more people playing the game, you know, at a higher volume, you know.
Yeah, it's
so
that whole factor of like, we're going to take this away now.
Right.
And then when they add it back in, it's like, you got to get on the game, you know.
The only thing I think about that, actually, right? So say Cranked is still there when DLC 1 drops.
Be weird.
The only thing I can think of, right, is that back in Black Ops 4, with Gauntlets and with Rush, there were certain elixirs that you couldn't use. So maybe it is a case that you play Cranked, and it's just not there.
Like, you have a point.
Yeah, maybe it's like X'd out or something. Like it's just like
point.
Yeah. So, like, you know, you try and purchase it, and it just goes like you just can't purchase it.
Fair enough. I could see that happening.
That might be the case, yeah.
Definitely. But yeah, speaking a little bit more about Firebase Z, that mini boss on the teaser image, looks pretty scary.
About him.
I think
I'm gonna get out that sexy motherfucker. Where is he?
It kind of reminds me of like a different version of a Margwa. So like Margwa Jr. over here is ready to kick some ass.
He is a Margwa, a keeper, and a Moishla mixed into one.
That's a pretty good comparison, actually. Yeah, I see that.
I looked at the body type and I was like, oh yeah, it does look like the Moishlers from World War II. Their body types were so like they weren't
scary.
Really, they were big in the sense that they were like wide, but as far as like arms and that, their limbs are pretty.
They were dangly is the best way I can describe them.
Yeah,
I got those
dangly. Yeah, like they're just
attack.
Like you know.
But someone did put out on Twitter the face, the actual face of the new boss, right? Is like an exact resemblance of the skulls that appear from the Void Bow.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can see that 100%.
Yeah, and it's like, so essentially, Jason, what is like, you know how, obviously, you know, the little skulls and that.
Right.
The little skulls have like these little hand things coming off it. Or I guess we thought they were hands, but now it just looks like there's some sort of like antenna sort of things that are coming off the face. And you can see them in the exact same realms. So, you know in the trailer where Takeo says, this isn't from any world. I think, and for Darius and Draka, there's the music video, right? And they're doing all the bow stuff, and Takeo's talking. And it's like, what evil have you unleashed or something? This isn't from any other world.
Yeah.
Or something, right? Something like that. Maybe he was referring to this thing. And this thing has been like in this other dimension they're talking about.
Man.
That might be a little thing I'm thinking is like,
I see it.
It's so like monstrous because he says it as the void bow comes up off the ground in the music video. And
interesting observation.
God, a big connection, maybe. I don't know. Maybe
very
not,
interesting observation, I think.
Do you guys think we're gonna get a brute type mechanic? And when I say brute, I'm talking brute from Spaceland. You know, when he does the sap feature from his face. Do you reckon that's going to be a similar thing?
I really hope not. I think what I'm hoping for is, like I said earlier, I'm hoping for Margwa Jr. I'm hoping for, there's no range attack on this guy, and that if you get too close, he'll smack you around like the Margwa does.
So you're saying Margwa Jr. So he comes around the corner looking all cute. You shoot his face off, and he just like, and then chases after you.
Yeah. I think
that'd be fine. Here's my thing, right? I think he'll have a range attack, and that's just because that mist stuff coming from its mouth.
Mm-hmm.
I reckon he'll shoot that out, and instead of it doing damage, I think it might be more of like it does something else, like it slows you down. I think it might be like it shoots it somewhere you try moving, it slows it down, or like.
Yeah. Here's the thing too, because Margwas did have range attacks from Revelations. So I guess there is a chance for them to do that.
Margwas, yes, but not the regular Margwa.
Right. Right.
Yeah. But like I kind of just want a bullet sponge again. Like I just want something where I can shoot it a few times and it dies.
Please, honestly, Treyarch, dial down the goddamn damage. I swear to God.
As long as we don't get another megaton, I'll be totally fine. And
and hopefully, I pray that this thing doesn't split into something else.
Dude, if I just see it splitting into something else, I'll just end my stream. I'll just be like, just end my first attempt right there. Just end the game and just be like, well, this was a fun map.
This motherfucker splits in two, and all of a sudden he's flying. I'm like, oh, fuck.
Or what if it's the case like it has its normal health and it doesn't split in two, and like that? What if it like mutates and grows wings and it's like it's like airborne?
I would be sad. I would be kind of sad actually.
The thing is, I would be bothered if the health was low. Like if it's like the health of like a parasite or something.
Yeah.
From shadows. That's fine where I can shoot it a few times it goes down, but like that'd be quite scary. Imagine it just grows wings and starts flying.
Or you shoot its head off and then it does give out parasites because it looks like a Margwa, like the Margwas did. Maybe it can do that. I don't know.
Something similar.
Okay, I'm gonna pose a question here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do we for sure know this is the new big boss? Because I'm looking at the size of him, and quite frankly, is he going to be the new type of playground for this new map? And then we're going to get some other motherfucker that's going to be the new Megaton.
You know what, Jack? I know what you're saying, and I really hope I really hope it's not what you just said, because if it is, I'm going to be very sad.
I'm scared.
Or what could potentially happen is they show this thing, right? And this thing's like the split version of something bigger. Or this thing is something from something bigger. Because in the thingy, in the D Machine trailer, obviously we got the Megaton and we got a Bomber and Blaster, but we didn't know in that context.
We didn't know it correlated.
Yeah. So what if they just do this again? Like, oh, these idiots are going to think this is like a boss. This is the boss, and it's like actually something a lot worse.
What if the boss is a Margwa, and the Margwa for each of its heads splits into 3 mini Margwas?
Well, 3, yeah, exactly.
I would be so sad, actually. That would suck so much.
Here's my thing as well. Here's what I don't want. I kind of want a map felt dogs. I don't think we'll get that. I think we'll get dogs or something.
Yeah, I'm sure Plague Hounds will return.
Plague Hounds in D Machina drive my nutting.
I hate them so much.
Yeah.
Onslaught, it's
They're
worse.
The worst thing.
Onslaught, it's much worse because your weapons don't do anything.
I'm not a PlayStation, so I haven't played Onslaught.
Well, the only way to take out Onslaughts and higher surges of Onslaught is the Tomahawk. That's it. That's the only way to take out Plague Hounds. And it's like your Tomahawk, you're like aiming the Tomahawk, and the dude 9 Tiger jumps at you, and you miss, and then you gotta go, and then he jumps at you again, and then he jumps at you again. It's like...
And then you kill him, and then he explodes.
And then he explodes, and then you die from the mist. Right. Like, out of everything in the game, that's the one thing Treyarch needs to tone down, Plague Hounds. They need to decrease the amount of times they jump at you in one attack. Because 9 Tigers were infuriating enough with their one attack, but now let's do it 5 times.
They don't jump at you. They fly at you, okay?
True.
They're halfway across the map, and those guys literally sprout their own wings and fly right at you. Like, that, oh my God. That game I just played, the amount of times I've had, like, I've been here, and he's been over here. He just, all of a sudden, then he's just right in my face. Like, I'm just like, I'm back off.
I don't like it.
Here's the thing, right? Is during normal rounds of Plague Hounds, I can take them, like, not normal rounds, like their special rounds. I can deal them then. is when they get right in your face when there's a horde of zombies and you're trying to shoot it and there's like, zombies hitting you in the back.
Yes.
Let's say there's a megaton as well. There's just so much going on, and then you get down because there's so many things coming from so many different places.
You guys find that they dodge your bullets as well. Like,
Oh, I know.
Try and shoot them.
They just move to the side a little bit and be like, okay, try.
Yeah, like their pathing is like, oh, this way, that way, oh, this way, oh, this way, that way, that way. Like,
and I'm bitting your face off.
It's ridiculous. Out of all the enemies in the game,
actually, I think at least we can admit that their pathing isn't as spiders from Zetsubo. Like, come on, that
spiders are whack.
Bad.
Oh
Spiders
yeah,
are
no,
pretty
that's
whack.
true. That is actually very true.
I wonder though, because this map is taking place in Vietnam, and I'm really curious to see with season 2, just to see how much of like a Vietnam influence we're gonna be getting in the season. Because in the blog post as well, Treyarch said napalm strike as a score streak is coming to zombies at the crafting table,
Yeah,
and of course napalm. Little history snippet here: napalm was used very heavily in the jungles of Vietnam during the Vietnam War, so it totally makes sense. So I wonder if season 2 is gonna have like the Vietnam theme. Add some Vietnam skins, add some maybe Vietnamese weapons if they had their own little special weapons. I know they got a lot of weapons from China and things like that, but
here's my thing, right, that I noticed with what they're doing. I think we've all seen the Express photo, I think, from BO2, like the map Express, obviously.
Oh, I'm so looking forward to that.
The thing is, right, is it's the exact map from BO2. Like, the train's the exact same from BO2, and you can see it.
Right.
But this is like in the old times. This isn't 2025. And the map's the exact same. Yeah. So I think maybe when they get closer, it'll be a bit more revamped. But like what I think they're gonna do from now on is like these maps from older I say older games, but games that are in the sort of future-ish time.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're just gonna add them anyway the way they look. Maybe instead of like walking from that, they might change them for cars and that. But everything else, like just keep it.
Well, yeah, I mean you see Raid, right? Raid is way too modern of a house, of a mansion to be set in the 1980s. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
So it's like they're just gonna port them over.
And eventually, I think we'll get like modern weapons. I think what would be really cool theme is, since how it's in the Cold War.
Yes.
I think they can go forward seasons like a few years and all that. Like I think they could, like season 4, they could do like a time jump where it's like modernish time.
Yeah, absolutely. I think with that they would have to do DLC for the campaign. Because if you're going to jump into the modern time, I think your core storyline should have a DLC where you jump into the modern time and you play as Adler or something. I don't know.
I've heard that their plan for future gods as well, because we're talking about time periods. This will be like our last one before we're kind of end off. But their plan is to do one past game, one modern game, and one futuristic game in each sort of cycle. Because Sledgehammer are taking back over.
Yeah.
And the whole plan is because then not one thing gets oversaturated, everything feels fresh, and we're not getting like 6 modern games.
Right.
20 World War II games, 6 future games, and repeating the cycle. It's all like one after the other. And I mean, it's a bit of an off topic, but what do you guys think of that? Do you think that's a good thing? Because like, to be honest, I think if there's like an advanced game, even if I don't enjoy it too much because of the exosuits or anything they added, it's different. And I know Exo Zombies gets a lot of hate for being Exo Zombies, but Exo Zombies is the most unique zombie mode we've gotten, just because.
Oh, it's definitely different.
Well, yeah, exactly. I know it's not a good different, right? But as far as actual gameplay goes, Exo Zombies is the most unique game mode we've actually gotten for zombies.
We got a message in the chat here saying they want the Infinite Warfare. They want Infinity Ward to finish the zombies story. They want Infinity Ward to finish the zombies story. Are you talking about like the Willard Wyler thing?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think that was all right. I think we can leave that.
I mean, the story, the ending cutscene, because there's a lot to be explained.
Here's the thing. I was thinking to myself yesterday, actually, Advanced Warfare actually had some pretty good multiplayer maps. Retreat is a good map. Biolab is a good map, just to name a couple. And I think they had some good multiplayer maps. I think the exo jumping and stuff was a little bit annoying, just because you're trying to shoot someone and they're flying up in space. But I think if they fine tune the whole exo jumping thing and make it not as OP as that, It could be good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
What do you think, Jack?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. I think it's like obviously with Advanced Warfare multiplayer, you could you use the boost jump all the time, but with BO3s, you had to wait for it to recharge after you used it. And I think that's the balance mechanic right there. Like if you're gonna have exosuits, you need to have a breathing time to allow it to recharge. Because otherwise, exactly like Advanced Warfare, they're gonna be in the sky every 2 seconds.
Yeah.
But with BO3s, you find that it was a very 50-50. Like
A
they
lot
were
of, yeah.
in the sky and they were on the ground. So
yeah, definitely.
Most of the time when you're in the air in BO3, you wouldn't be using it for combat. You'd be using it for like moving around the map. Yeah, transport, exactly, because the maps are built to be like, okay, you can't go on the ground here, you're gonna have to fly, you're gonna die. And the only time I really found myself using like BO3 as like actual jetpack for combat is like, I'm actually mid wall run.
Yeah,
like,
wall running was
and
cool,
then I see
actually.
someone like, that's the one time I'll do something,
True.
But most of the time, like, yeah. I mean, I think if they keep something quite similar to like Black Ops 3 or Infinite Warfare, or even like like the future stuff. Maybe it's just the setting, and there's a few things like maybe at some parts of the map you can mount to the wall with gloves, and then like you can hold on to the wall and like have a gun ready, like a pistol or something. I don't know. If it is something like that, I think that'd be quite.
I think
cool,
you'd only have to be
fine.
able to mount to the wall for like 10 seconds, or else people will be camping on
lose
walls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would hate that so much because I already get annoyed at campers in multiplayer. I would just get so annoyed. I'm on the side of the building here with my sniper.
Yeah, that'd be annoying. But I think I don't know. I hope they know what they're doing. I hope they know what they're doing for the next game. But
we'll see what happens.
Anyway.
But I think one thing's for sure, and this will be the last thing we mention here before we end off today's show. I think one thing, and I think it's the unfortunate truth of the situation going on right now in the Call of Duty community, no matter what the next game is going to be, there will still be skill-based matchmaking. That is going to be an unfortunate truth we might have to live with for another couple Call of Duties until the community does something about it, or we have another rival to Call of Duty, and it steals the multiplayer population away. Here's
the thing. I know this is like our last little topic, but like when skill-based matchmaking in older games, I could kind of handle it because it wasn't messing with my aim. But this one, the better you do, the worse the game actually makes your aim.
Exactly.
I can't take the game seriously. I can't take the game seriously because
I hate that so much.
I can be doing great and I do bad, and I'm like, okay, well that's because the game hates me. Because I'm doing well, the game punishes me, and that should never be the case.
Yeah.
Like, how stupid does that sound?
Sorry,
go ahead. Yeah. No, you go ahead.
I was just gonna like with skill-based match. I don't play multiplayer, so like that's kind of like over my head. But I see people all the time complaining about the skill-based matchmaking, and it's as you said, Jason. It's an unfortunate truth that we are just gonna have to accept the fact that it's gonna be here. It's gonna be here until the end of time. Like, which is
potentially
because it makes them so much money. I know Fortnite has skill-based matchmaking. That's just something I heard of someone. I don't know about things about Battlefield. I think if Battlefield, this is the last thing we talk about before we end up, but if Battlefield 6 or whatever the next one comes out is a modern game, has a great battle royale, has good multiplayer maps, has a 6v6 multiplayer maps as well, just a few of them, I think Battlefield could take back the crown. I think it could, because I think for years it was pretty right?
Maybe.
But for me, the last good Battlefield game was Battlefield 4. Hardline was a fun campaign.
I remember, Battlefield 4 was pretty fun, actually. I liked the campaign, actually. That was fun.
Did you ever play that multiplayer mode, was it Conquest, and it was in Siege of Shanghai?
I don't know.
It was that massive building that would crash down halfway through.
I don't remember that, no. I only played a little bit of Battlefield 4 multiplayer. I only really remember the campaign. I remember there was, like, at the end of the mission, you're, like, hanging off on the ropes, and you're, like, you gotta choose the person to live, I think, or something like that. But I remember that game being pretty fun.
Just before you obviously before we leave off, there's one more thing, one more tiny thing I want to know what you guys think. Okay?
Absolutely.
Okay.
A little paragraph here. It's only 2 lines. Before we go, we'll leave you with this. What we've talked about today is just a glimpse of what's planned for zombies in 2021. If you think you know what to expect in season 2, think again.
Honestly, man,
Nah,
I think that means we're getting some really spicy info. I think that means we're going to be getting. I want to see Grief. I want to see another new map. I want to see another new perk. I want to see some new weapons. I want to see some new operators that are the zombies characters. I want to see Dempsey, Takio, Nikolai, and Richtofen as operators.
Let them go.
Yeah.
And I think I want to see a bunch more zombie stuff. So.
Yeah.
And yes, chat, the multiplayer does screw you the better you play. We could go on a huge tirade about it, but there are plenty of videos out there on YouTube that explain it. But basically, yes.
He's had a big run about it.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I think with skill-based match, not so much. I think with that little comment that Trent made, if you expect to know what to see in season 2, think again. I think they can talk the talk, but can they walk the walk? Is what I'm thinking.
I think they have the resources to walk the walk. We have to think that they got to decide to walk the walk, though. Like, come on.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's just it. I think they have stuff ready for us for season 2. And that's why they're being so like, oh yeah,
I like that. Honestly, it's. I'm excited to see what season 2 brings, and if they out of the blue just announce that we're getting one big map and one small survival map, I'm gonna be like, okay, now you're talking.
Yeah, that's so dope. That'd be so dope. Oh man, but hey, I think today's episode of the podcast was very fun and very informative.
Definitely.
Talked about a lot of topics: Firebase Z, Tombstone.
A lot happened
Cranked.
this week. It's good.
A lot happened,
it's good
man.
to have something to talk about. You know, like.
Yeah.
Thing is, what I find with our episodes is like a lot of the time there's not really anything new to talk about, but when there's something new comes out, God,
you just go forever, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, special thank you to our guest of the day, Jack Lobster, for coming on the show and having some fun with us talking about Call of Duty Zombies. And Jack, you have anything you want to say to the audience before we close things out here today?
I mean, I think. Best thing I can advise, and that's only because I'm going to be doing it this year, is just follow your passion and follow something that you enjoy. If you are stuck in something that you do not enjoy, take a step back and rethink through it. That's what I've basically done throughout the whole of December. And my YouTube path this year is going down a very different route, but it's what I'm very excited about. So follow your passion, follow your dreams, and you'll see big difference.
You're doing something in your life that you love to do, you'll never work a day in your life.
Exactly.
I will say, out of all the people we've had on the show, I think we all given them like the chance to say something to the audience. I think that's the best one we've had. Like actual advice.
That's some good advice. That's some really
good advice.
I agree.
Thank you.
Work hard, everybody. Work hard, dude. Believe in yourself.
And follow what you believe in.
Follow what you believe in, exactly. Well, thank you guys so much again for watching episode 32 of the Division Z podcast. If you did enjoy and you haven't already, go ahead and hit me up with a follow right here on Twitch and check out Jack and Cosmic linked down below in the description of this YouTube video, because of course it's a YouTube video. But for all my Twitch people out there, I'll see you guys next week on a live stream. And yeah, I that was kind of a weird outro. I don't know what that was. But anyways, guys, we'll see you next time. Peace out.